Welcome to part 7 of my tutorial series How to create a fantasy weapon for video games. Today you will learn how to retopologize the rest of my elements of this Warhammer. In episode 6 I've started to create this Warhammer head here. This is this element. And today you will learn how to create the rest sub-objects of this Warhammer. I will show you some tools and the ways how to create all these things here. In the 8th episode I will start to create the UV and the texture information. But today we will continue and fulfill the element that is needed for our game engine object. Thank you very much and have fun! Okay, let's start. Here we have the result of our last tutorial episode. We have created this hammer head. Now I will continue and create and complete the rest of our weapon. Before I do this, I show you the chord. The chord will be retopologized today too. Okay, I will organize my weapon or my object for my engine in separate sub-objects. So what I will do is I will use an object for the hammer, one object for the handle, and some other objects of the other elements. The main reason to do this is I can save some polygons, and additionally it's good for the baking process later when I transfer the normal map information of the high poly mesh to the low poly mesh. Okay, before I start I will rename my hammerhead layer here to the hammerhead. Okay. And now I will just hide it, and I will hide the elements that are not needed anymore. So what I do is I hide this hammerhead, the chord, yes, and the handle ring here, and the sphere. Great. Before I create the retopology for our handle, I will create a new layer. 3D Code creates a new layer that is called Retopo Group 1. This is the default name of new layers. So when I create a new one, it will be counted with the 2 and so on. I delete this one and I rename it to handle. Okie dokie. Before I retopologize, I keep safe that my view is in the orthographic view and not in the perspective view. The perspective view is not very nice for our strokes tool here to retopologize. And if you create a stroke and use the perspective, then it could happen that you create not very straight lines. So I can show it to you here by an example. I make a line, and then it happened that sometimes the line was not really straight. So before I make a mistake, I will switch it to, this was the, okie dokie, again. Escape, show it to you, again here. And now you see, when I go into the front view, the perspective has disturbed my line here. Good. So I switch to the orthographic mode and switch to the side view. This is the side view. Great. The strokes tool is very nice to create such an object. When I create a line and a second line, there will be created 2 circles. Normally I'm forced to do this by hand, but 3D Code helps me to create a circle by just dragging a line in the side view. Okay, when I'm dragging a new line down and press return, 3D Code creates automatically a new retopo object for my high poly object. This new cylinder here has amount of segments. When you want to control the amount of your segments, you can do it here by number of segments. At the moment I have 12 sides, 12 segments for this object. I make undo and I show it to you when I press 5, for example, and say OK. then you see 5 segments will be created. To see this, you just go to ZBS and show it here. Okay, that's so. I will leave my default value and use 12. Before I make the final handle, I clear my layer and do it again by okay, good. First you have to create a straight line here. It is very helpful in 3D Code to use the Shift key. When you are pressing the Shift key, you can create completely straight lines. When I drag my Shift key now and press my mouse, then I can create a completely straight horizontal line. When I move my mouse down, I am creating a completely straight vertical line. So the Shift key helps you to create completely straight lines. This is the first one, and here is the second. Now I make a little curve because my handle is going a little bit to the left, and the same I do here. And now you see here is a curve. These lines will represent the rings for my later mesh. So I do another one, and here in the bottom I would do a line that is here in this direction. Be carefully that you make the line a little bit over their end before here, not much too close. I will show you what happens when you make a line that is not going here in this direction but only here a little bit. Now you see 3D Code is creating a circle that is going through the object and creating a little bit noisy splines. So it's important to do it here a little bit higher, not such close, and then it's okay. Good. Now I switch to the front view and will paint a line that is completely going down. I press the Shift key and the release here. It's very important for 3D Code to cross the lines. So what I mean is, when I move it here up, the line must cross this element here. When it's not crossed, 3D Code is not creating a vertex point later. So only crossed lines will create a vertex point and a new polygon. I will show it to you. When I press return, then you see my object B is only created here in this area. When I move my line here down, I do it in the front view. So, okay, a little bit. So, okay, and cross the line here. And now I press return. Then all works well, and my object is created very nice. Now I can go to the selection, select this edge, press the L button, and go to the transform to move my edge here a little bit to the top. The same I do here. Go to select again, press L, and move it down to this. Now to the side view, and I can see if it's all working. Great. To deselect this, you just press Ctrl D and it will be deselected. Now I see this is my low poly object. If you like, you can make some more subdivisions. To do this, just go to the Split Rings tool, and now you are able to split the elements here. So what I do is I will split it here and here to get a better mesh, and I think I will do it here and here too. It looks good. And maybe another one here. Okay, that's good. Great. So this is nearly our handle. What we need is to cap the top here, to close it by using the cap tool. And now you see you can move your mouse to the open area, and 3D code automatically realize where the open area is, and you can create a new cap here. The same you can do here at the button. I click here and cap it, and the same I do here at the top. You don't need to hit the middle point because when you go to selection and you use the vertices mode here and click on this, then you just click on relax, and 3D code automatically place your point to the center. The more you click, the more the point will be moved to the center. Now I deselect the point by pressing Ctrl D, and I do the same here. Now press relax, and again and again. It's important that this point is only selected, not the other ones, because the selected points will be relaxed. So when I click on this point and this point, they both will be moved. 3D code then try to reach the same distance between the points here. So the distance between this point and this, and this and this. So some clicks until this point is not moving anymore. So you have the center. Great. That looks good. Now, if you like, or if you want, you could move these points here to the exact center. This can be done by going to the select mode, the edges. And now you click on this, press L, and now just select this edges. Yeah, and the same. No, I do this here. And now you move, go to transform, and move it to the center. But don't do it by hand, just use this position mode here, this position window. As you can see, the position of these points is not exactly in the middle, so I press 0, and now they are moved to the center. The same, I deselect, the same I will do with these points here on the other side. So you get, so you can be sure that this element is exactly in the center. Okay, 0, great. So, okie dokie. Now, you see the handle is now ready, and here is the hammerhead. Where is my hammerhead? Here. Okie dokie. Great. One more point, and I will do a small bevel here to this object. Yes, and move my object a little bit higher. As you can see, it's not exactly in the top, so I would select my edges here, press the L button to select the ring, move the create and transform, move it a little bit up. Okay, and the same here. Yes, maybe a bit. So again, I click on L, side view, transform, and move it and turn it a little bit down in this direction and down. Oh, okay, and maybe a bit. Good. Okay, that looks good. And now I go to brush and use snap, because I want to get to be sure that my points will be snapped to the position, because I've rotated my points, so that was the reason for the snapping. Good. And now I do the bevel. So I go to selection again, edges, select this edge, select the other edge, and you can see both selected. Now I press L, and both rings will be selected. And now I go to bevel. As you can see, the bevel will be created automatically with this value, and I make it a little bit higher to 2.5. You can use a different value if you like. Okay, and this was done here on both sides. maybe here a little bit too much, but it's not a problem. I go again to brush and say snap. Now it's a bit better snapped. It's very much here. Wait. So I select this, this again. Oops. Move it down, up. Snap, 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 snap. Okay. And now the same with this here. This, oops, edges. The radius a bit smaller. And now transform, and this yellow cube, you can transform it and go to brush and again snap. Looks better. Great. This looks good. So don't be this is not a problem when the elements are colorful here a bit, because this is not a bug or so. You can just move them and make undo, and then 3D Code makes it automatically to the right color. But that's not very important. So okay, now we have beveled it, and we have the handle head. It looks very nice. Now the next object. The next object is very easy. I go to the sphere here, as you can see, and I create a sphere, and I hide the handle. As you can see here, when I hide the handle, it's the main object of this element, so the sphere will be hidden too. So to avoid this, you could move the sphere outside of the handle, but I don't do this because I like it to have it here. So what I do now is I just click on this ball here and turn the ghost mode on and off. I turn it off, and now 3D Code uses only a selection to the selected sphere. I can see the handle and the sphere, but the sphere will be only used to use the snapping. So I will not create a new mesh for the sphere. I could do this, but I will not. So what I do now is I use one of these objects. These are here, the retopo models. I will move the object to the center, make it a little bit higher, more than my sphere, and control if it's okay from the front. No. So I move it to this escape, move it to the Z center. Oh, it's the X. Okay. Now move it a little bit to the side and a little bit down. I hope it is exactly in the middle. And now I can press return, and my object will be placed. And 3D Code now asks for the object to be snapped to the voxel reference. Yes, it have to be. So it will be placed now in the new layer and snapped to my object. Here we have it. Now it was snapped. I do it again. Now it's snapped. Okay. Normally it's done. So as you can see, the sphere is now snapped. It's very high poly, but yeah, it's not a very big problem. I can reduce the amount a bit just by clicking. I make the ZBS to 3. I see my ZBS was a little bit too high. Now I can see the right element. No, okay. So I will see if it's possible. So you can delete the lines if you like, if you think there are too much elements. And now in this way you can reduce the amount if you want. The 3D Code automatically deleted the vertices of the deleted elements. So this is not a problem. Alright, great. So the same can be done here. Okay. now I have a better resolution of my object. As you can see, here are some elements that are not needed. Snap again. Where is it? Yeah, okay. There are some polygons that are not needed, so I could delete them, but I will not do it. I just leave them here. That's okay. So what we have now is we have the sphere and the handle. So Predicode has created a new object, a new layer, because I have pasted my object from the retopo models. So I don't need the sphere mode here. I can delete it and rename the new one to sphere. To sphere. Okay. So here is the head. Now we have these elements. The next element is the Handlery Ring. So I show it. Here it is. This is our handle ring. So our handle ring. I go to the side view again. Okay. And now I use the strokes mode again because it's the fastest way to do this. And here, and again, and the next one. And go to the front view, move it to this here. Okay, great. Okie dokie. 12 elements. Okay, great, ready. Now go to the side view again. Select my edges, perfect, and go to transform and move it a little bit. So L and move it up. The same, do it here. Go to the transform, move it a bit down, save, and use the snapping to be sure that all works good. Next is to cap all this here and cap it here. Fine. I select now the vertices. I use this one and I use this one and say relax, 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 and now it's completely in the center. Good. The normal map information for these elements will be later baked into my low poly object, so I don't need to retopologize all this. So what I do now is again I use the press L and make a bevel. Bevel? What is the right one? I hope. Bevel? Bevel? B to B? Bevel, not bevel. Okay. Bevel is listening like devil. Yeah, okay. Undo, and now we have it here. Fine. Yes, I see it's a little bit, and yeah, and snapping again. So now it's better. I think it's a little bit too much bevel. Too much bevel. Undo, so one is the right one. Okay. Points, move, undo, and snap again. Great. This looks good. Here we have the elements. Fine. So, okie dokie. Now, the last element that we are creating is now the chord. It's one of the more complicated objects, but it's not very hard to do this. So I do the retopo group and say chord main. Chord main is a chord main. I am thinking about separating these two elements with this element, but I guess I will not do it. I will leave it like it is. Good. Chord. I do it by using one object. Now I will make the chord. Here we have it. We don't need to retopologize the inner side. It's okay to retopologize the outer elements. So I go to the side view and do the same. I like to use the strokes mode here too, but I'm thinking if it's working. Yes, I do it here. And what you see is the curve will be completely created through the elements. That's not very nice. So I make undo. I make a small trick to do this in a fast way. You could do it by using the quad tool, but instead I will go to the handle here and I will hide the chord here. Okay, and I will use the handle to help me to make the right element. I could use the handle end here too, but I do the handle. Okay, handle end. Where's the end? Here is the ring. So I go to the chord and switch it off to see it as a ghost to get the position. And now I use the chord and go to the handle and use strokes. First one, the second one. And I move to the front view and use this. Okay. Oops. For any reason the pattern was used, I guess. For any reason. Very interesting. Escape. So again, actually it must work here and not in the chord. Okay. 3D Code seems to, in this version, 3D Code seems to not to realize in the strokes mode. It's creating strokes for both objects. It seems that strokes are ignoring the ghost mode. That's only the reason. So what I do is I do it anyway, and now I go to this curve, delete it just by clicking on the curve, and now I have my curve that I need. So I will now hide. Yeah, there's some more curves. You don't need to delete them because 3D Code will create just the curve where it is possible to do it. So now I do this here and say return, and now I have my element. Now I switch my chord on and go to the chord mode and switch my handle off, or as a ghost mode, and now I go to brush and say snap. This element is now snapping to my chord. Okay, it has helped me to make this object. So now I go to the edges, select the edges, transform, and move them a little bit up. And the same here. Same here. Side view. Move them. Okay, move to the brush mode and say snap. So okie dokie. Maybe I could, oops, okay, maybe I could use some more. I have a small problem and I have to move it to here. Okay, so I do it here by using the edges. This edge, this. Move them. So down, brush, snap. Snap again. Okay, now it works. The same here. Snap. Okay, deselect and move them. Snap. Fine. sometimes a little bit tricky. Maybe this mode can help snap to outer surface, so closest than normal when you're relaxing, you know. So I will use it by hand, then I can be sure that it works. Sometimes some more subdivision helps. Select this, move it down, go snap, brush. As you can see, it's a little bit tricky, but it's not a very big problem. Move. Oops, no. Snap. Great. So now I select L. Now I select my, I use a trick to do the rest. I select this here, L, and this here, L. I hope it works, I have not looked. So bevel, no, because 3D code needs more information to make a bevel. Cancel. So what you do is, it's another way, just click on this here, say select this element, and and go to extrude, and now you can extrude as an element here, or you yes, that's a better way. Just go to split rings, and now you are able to the same here. Yes, now go to edges. The brush is too big, so you can do it to the edges. L, and now I go transform and make it a bit into the object here. Delete. Deselect vertices will be automatically selected, and snap it and relax it a bit. Make it a bit higher. See more side view. Snap. Great. The same can be done here. I transform it to this. Now I go to the edges, select the edges, side view, and move them a bit down. And snap again. Yeah. Snap. Here it is. Great. And I do now another split ring here, and the same here, and another one here, and another one here. Relax. Snap. It's better. Snap. Now here the L vertices and relax. The same here. L vertices. Only the vertices that are selected will be relaxed. So this is not bad for controlling all this. Yeah, I will see. This element is snap. Undo. Transform. Snap. Great. Looks a little bit crazy here, but it's okay. So faces, transform, move it up, and now snap. Okay. This is the main object that is not it don't need so much details. The chords here will need some more details. So because they are just looking better when you create them in a little bit more information, with a little bit more information. So I must check the program here. Sometimes you must move the points a bit around to get them. I will off the handle. Yes, I have a small problem with this vertex here. So I select this one and move it outside. Use my brush and it should be automatically snapped. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it helps to move the point over the high poly mesh to move it to the right position. So if you have problems with the snapping, just move it around, then it works better. So slide over the high poly mesh, then it works. Here is the same, the vertices or the vertices inside the mesh. That's really ugly, so I move it to the outside and use the snapping to get the right position. As you can see, the same happen now again. So I move it over the mesh and hope it works. It's more work than sometimes it looks. Okay, I guess I will split the rings here again. So, oh wait, I have a small problem. Move the brush. So okay, now I go to selection, move over here, this two. Okay, transform them now to this position. Say snap, and okay, now I can move this one here. And the other one here. Later I can, now I can split the elements here. Then it works better. Don't forget to save your scene. Sometimes it could result in strange things. Handlery rings again. Now split this to this, this to this. Okay. Now I will do. Okay. Snap. Relax. So I will use the handle and control my element here. I have to move the points here a little bit up. So now it works better. Maybe a small ring split again. The same for here. Okay. For any reason, my point has moved. For any reason, my point is moved here. Okay. So move it here in this direction. And say snap. Okay. Another split ring. Okay, here is okay, and say I move, then I move it and make it here. Relax. Snap again. Relax. Okay. So what you can do now is you can use selection, the faces, and use this face here and make a normal extrude. That means you can now move extrusion here and move it to this direction. So okay. Now select and transform, and now you can turn it a bit, move it to this position. I see there are some problems with my voxels. I will make them smooth. I can do this all the time, so I move now to the voxel room and I see, oh, here are some problems. So vox tree chord, okay, and I will smooth them a bit. Yeah, I'm just moving. It's not very important, this small bugs for the later baking process, because it's sometimes not bad to have a raw structure for my chord. Strokes. Okay, now I go to brush and say snap, and they are not snapping to this position, but as I see, it's better to select them. Delete, then snap, transform, and move it to this position. And the same here. Transform and move it to this position. Okay, and now I will snap only these positions here, vertices, and say snap. Now they are snapped. Great. Brush, move. No, it's okay. And now I go to the split rings and say here in the middle. Okay. And again, the one, and this one, and this one, this one, this one. Now I move my brush a bit. Good. Here. Now I take this one and say here, and I go to split rings and say here. Now I say split one here and here. Okay. Some small problems here, but not a problem really. Okay, this is the first. Now I do this here. Three, 4, 5. I hope that's the right one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements. Okay. 6 elements. Return. Here we are. So, okay, move them down. Fine. Okay, that's good. You can, if you really want, if you want some more detail, you can subdivide all this here by this function. Before I do this, to show you, I will select a small vertices because okay, I have to split it. Great, good to know. So what I will do now, I will start here, here, and here. And the same here, here, and here. It's better. Now I can delete the edges that are not needed here to get what's okay. No points and faces selection vertices. Take this one, move it outside. Here. Switch the chord on and say snap. Fine. Maybe I will make some more split to get a better result. Here, 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 here. So this one and this one. Brush. It's a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, maybe some more. With backspace you can delete the last control point you've created, backspace, and now it's gone. So this is a nice way to do it. So okay, relax, undo. Be carefully with relax. If you don't select something, all will be relaxed, and sometimes you don't need or you don't want to want this. So okay, I think this is okay for our small object here. So when I switch the other things on, then it looks good. Maybe here's some element that can be corrected. Yes. I will move it a little bit up, so it works a bit better. So what I show you is you can, if you want, subdivide the chord to get a better result later. You don't need to do this. It depends how many polygons you can use in your engine. At the moment there are 1,308 triangles that I used in this object. So what I can do is I subdivide selected one. So have you seen, again, undo, and I do on subdivide, and now the object was subdivided and has much more detail. And in this moment I can see here are some problem. As you can see, the polygon again is gone to this position. Like undo, the reason for this is because the polygon is inside. No, now it works. Okay. It's because Predicode tries to auto snap. When I do snap again, then it works here, like you see. This is a small problem. So you can tweak it by hand, and then Predicode snaps better. Snap. Now you see, only here is a problem. Undo, go to the opposite side, move it a bit it snaps again, and then you can click on snap, and now it should work better. Yeah, here is a small snapping problem here and here if you use a lot of polygons. So you can do this, but you don't need to. Yeah. So I will make it to this resolution. This is completely okay. This looks not. Here is n gone, so I will connect this one. No, I think no. I will delete the edge and make a different split. First, I Handlery Ring. Okay. Yeah, I make a different split, a little bit more detailed. A little bit more detail on this side too. This is not very not needed because the handle is going into this object, so you don't need to retopologize or do here something. So great. Maybe some more splits here. Then the retopo works better. The same here. Okay. This is not working, so you have to make the brush smaller, and then you can subdivide or split the ring here. Okay. It's looking okay. Fine. Okay, now we have it. I think we have all elements. The handle, the handle ring, the sphere, the eye was something different. I guess I have it used for, yeah, as a the hammerhead. Okay, so here's the hammerhead, the handle. Great. So here we are. Now the hammer is ready for retopo, ready for UV information. The UVs will be made in the next episode, not today. So I hope you liked my small tutorial episode, and yeah, and we will see us back in the new episode, in the next one. Then I will create the UV information, the texture information for this object, and the baking process will be explained. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.